some sort of bird up there. Today, we're going to be talking about Halloween. Halloween in today's world is obviously pumpkins and trick-or-treating, and all of that actually stems from a pagan and Celtic history, and it is a holiday called Samhain with a very, very different spelling.
How do you spell it?
It's I could be wrong, Sahmain, I believe. I could totally be wrong, but it's pronounced Samhain. I actually had to Google that too, because I saw the actual spelling, and I was like, and I thought it was Samhain, like it's spelled Samhain.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how I thought it was pronounced, but it's actually pronounced Samhain. So Samhain falls October 31st, also November 1st, it can be recognized. And it's between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. So the reason it's also recognized is because it's coming into the time where the daylight is much less, the darkness is much more pronounced, and going into the winter season, which is also connected to the end of the season, which is also connected to death. And the holiday of Halloween, obviously, is very much associated with the idea of death. It is also a time when you recognize ones that you love that have passed. So going back to the idea of carving pumpkins and costumes is kind of actually very fun, because it originally was done as a way to ward off evil spirits. So there's a time in which we say the veil is thinning. So what that is implying is that from about the middle of October to the middle of November, we have this thinning period of time for the veil, which is when the spirit world has easier access to come into our world, and we actually have the ability to see these spirits and to sense these spirits more readily. So not only is it spirits, it's also fairies as well. So on October 31st, what we do is we put costumes on to frighten off these spirits. And then the idea of carving pumpkins is we leave them at our doorstep to make sure that there's no entry into our home of these spirits. So that's been practiced for ages and ages, and we kind of lost the true meaning of the holiday at this particular point in time. And another element of this holiday is it is a time, because this veil is thin and spirits have the ability to come to us, it is a time in which we can actually acknowledge our ancestors and loved ones that have passed on. And what people used to do in this pagan and Celtic tradition is they would prepare a feast, and they would actually set plates for the loved ones that have passed, and they would place food as an offering to them. I suggested doing that, and my parents really didn't like the idea, so we're not going to do that. However, it's very interesting because there's also this idea of honoring ones that we love that have passed, and that is also part of this tradition that has actually kind of gone to the wayside in our culture. We actually see that in the Spanish tradition of the Day of the Dead, Dia los Muertos. Did I say that correctly?
Dia de los Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos. So it's in that tradition, they actually do honor the loved ones that have passed. So that's just kind of something that's a little bit missing in our American culture right now. So this idea of connecting to your loved ones, even this idea of speaking to them and sending them message due to the fact the veil is thin, because it's very possible that they might actually hear you. In this particular time too, it's a great opportunity to really see if you are getting messages, kind of paying attention to your own intuition and seeing if you're getting any sort of messages. We were at my parents' house and the lights flickered, and my mom said, "That's my mom," which would be my grandmother, who passed, I'm not even sure, 20 years ago?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Years ago. So these messages are coming through. So it's just this idea of being completely aware of the messages you might be receiving. So this Halloween, I have the privilege and opportunity to spend it in central Pennsylvania, which is my home. And it is obviously an area that just feels so perfectly beautiful fall. So getting this Halloween energy here has been a really wonderful experience. So I hope you enjoyed our conversation about Halloween and Samhain. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section, and make sure to like and subscribe. Winter. Winter. Darkness. What the heck am I talking about? And if there's any other... Oh shit, look at these grapes. Are you fucking serious?